next we are going to talk about, obviously, forced reactions, and this is the next segment that we have here in this Inside Star Citizen. So here we go. Let's listen to Jared again and see what they have to say about this upcoming feature. Hopefully this time they are going to tell us when this is coming out.
Which not only aim to provide a realistic and visceral sense to being hit by just about anything in the Star Citizen universe, but also give reason to all those seats in the bellies of dropships when exterior forces begin transferring to those within.
So force reactions, this time around we're just adding a little more layers to the game. It's gonna give you more immersion. I think it's, if you should...
Oh, by the way, did you say, is this the zero in here? That yeah, 0 200 meters. Okay, looks like we are having a our first look of tier 0 of zeroing. Cool, right? Are you familiar with Anton Petrov? Yes, Ted. I actually follow Anton Petrov. Ted. I think that he lives in South Korea, if I may be right. Macho says, I don't believe they do when questions. I think it's company policy at this moment. And Macho, I think that this is very unfortunate. I think that we should at least be given some, or at least know what their objectives are. It's okay. We know there's going to be delays. We know that very often objectives are finished, but at least that what is the vision for some of the progress that we can see in the near future? And we're not having any of that, and that's what I am concerned with. Teddy Garda says, Guten Morgen, Teddy Garda.
It's adding to what Star Citizen is. So the big additions on 3.11 is the knockdown and seeing the reactions in the ship.
Okay, so getting a reaction here.
When you
So
work on
far,
any feature,
no
you
reaction
need
here.
to
What did we
testing
see
run,
here? What was there?
When you
I
work
didn't
on
see
any
anything.
feature, you need a good testing ground, like something a little bit simpler, where there's less noise than say loading into the full PU experience every time. But it also allows us to really dial in on all the different edge cases, all the different scenarios. With forced reactions, we've got Sam, and Sam's really sort of taken the whole.
Okay,
test
so what are we
levels
talking
apart
about here for
and
forced
built an
reactions?
Amusement park of different rides you can.
Okay. Okay, we got some guns here. That's the... See, this is what I want to have in the game. Why don't we have this in the game? So we can try guns, and see, oh, I like this one. Oh, it has this kind of range. It does this damage. We need to have something like that. And we used to, I think that we had that a long time ago in the hangar module. I know that they said that it's not going to be possible to have that right now in stations or in landing zones because of the armistice zones. I get that, but that could be a great way to get to put the hangar that nobody's using. Who is using the hangar here? Please tell me in the comment down section or in the chat down here. Is anyone using the hangar? I haven't been in the hangar for years. Maybe I think the last time I went into the hangar was like in 2016 to check that, hey, is the hangar still there, right? But that's pretty much it. So if we could get this in a hangar, that would be really fantastic. Hey, where's my ISC? All right.
Go on to test all the different force reactions aspects, and this is great because it allows you to have tons of fun first of all, and if you have fun when you make a feature, it's gonna be a better feature.
This guy who speaks seems
Hello,
like a fun guy.
I'm
Yeah.
Samuel Joyce. I'm a technical designer on Star Citizen. So let me jump into the editor and show you what that's all about. One of the force reactions that we're working on is called Twitch, where the player will be hit by a bullet and their body will react in a certain way, depending on how far.
Okay, cool. Did you see that? They have all the different guns here on those posts, and this guy's gonna get shot as a... Okay, looking fun.
Far away they are being shot. And how far they are depends on how strong the impact will be. So when you're being hit by a automatic weapon, you'll really feel that impact.
Yeah, it does feel like we are feeling that, and I think that it's also going to have a certain impact on how people are going to be precise with their weapons, which I think is good, because somebody who is getting shot obviously should be getting some kind of debuff and disadvantages. The guy who is shooting first should also be getting an advantage for having shot first, having hit the target first, and maybe having an edge over the opponent. I like that very much.
Similarly, if you're being shot by a rifle, the rifles generate a lot more impact, which means you're going to get a much more severe reaction. When you get hit by a shotgun...
Okay, let's see what the shotgun does. Oh, not too much damage.
You'll get peppered by many pellets, and the more pellets you get hit by, the more of an impulse that's generated, meaning your camera's going to shake more.
Makes sense.
If you walk up to the shotgun and get shot point blank...
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, how do you recover from that? This is pretty cool. I could totally imagine having a shotgun, getting the guy on the ground, and then finishing the guy with a little pistol, you know, and then taking the pistol and like this. That would be cool. I would definitely... When is this coming out? Do we have a date again, or is it like the clouds and we have no idea?
You get knocked down, and now you have a chance to shoot your enemy.
Okay, we can actually shoot people from down there.
Rockets. Of course, we've got God mode in this instance, so when you get hit by the rockets, you kind of like fly sideways.
Wow. Okay, that is violent. That is violent. I like that. That is going to get some really nice eradication at SPK. Ted says he does use the hangar from time to time, and it's quite disappointing. Mark says that he visited the hangar today for the first time in a month, and alpha in-game purchased ships do not show up in the hangar, whereas those with real money do. Very interesting, Mark, which also probably shows that the devs probably don't really care so much about the hangars right now.
So what I'm going to do next is set up the force reactions to always play a knockdown whenever I'm shot by a pistol, so we see the most accurate representation of being blasted by a shotgun. What this big green square is for testing our force reactions. So for example, if I increase the force to about 60, we're going to get a really small little nudge which will knock us down.
Okay, so what is that?
And if we up the force a bit more, we should start going about 1.5 meters forward. So the furthest that we want...
By the way, these are great looking falls. I wonder if they went to actual motion capture for those.
You to be able to fall when you have an explosion go off behind you is about 3 meters. So this little yellow line helps us measure that.
Oh, so that's what we're seeing at is because of explosions. Okay, so explosions now are also going to make your character fall off like this. Very nice.
One of the things we want to be wary of when you're getting knocked down is when you get knocked down from a great height.
Oh.
What's the character going to do as he's falling? The kinds of issues that we'd be looking at.
That is one cool way to die. Obviously, that's in God mode, as you said. But especially, you know, on places, you know, FPS combat bunkers, you know, there are places in bunkers where if you're not careful, you can fall off cliffs. Even also, I think at what is it called? That is something that can happen also in prison mines as well.
Would be just the general animation flow and being able to see if we got enough frames in each little area without it looking clunky and make sure it's smooth.
Okay, that fall looked really impressive. I liked it very much. Okay, grenades. There we go. Let's see what grenades are gonna do now. Boop. And oh, that was really nice. That was really nice. Okay. And we could hear the guy screaming and falling in front. Okay, super cool.
As you saw there, just as the explosion went off, my camera shaked a little bit. There's a little example of what the grenade explosion's pressure is going to do to the character if you're not quite in the blast zone. So here's a grenade where I haven't been able to get out of the way, but it affects both of us.
Oh yeah, so you're definitely going to have to, at least it's, I don't know if this is going to kill you, but it's definitely going to give you a serious disadvantage over that guy here who hasn't been damaged by the grenades. So you're going to have to be even more careful.
Next up, I'm going to show you AI twitches. So once this guy knows about our little buddy over there.
It's funny because in the editor they look just as stupid as how they are in at SPK.
Some of the reactions that you could see, I can trigger them myself. When he's being shot, he'll be hit by their thing. So we've just gone to the ship hangar test level where I can spawn in any of the ships that I need to test in. So today we're going to look at the Andromeda.
Oh, it's been a long time we haven't seen a constellation. Alright, cool. So, what are we going to see here in the force reaction in the constellation?
What I'm going to get this to do now is we're going to get the AI to fly my ship for me.
Wait. The AI can fly ships for us? Since when?
And what we're going to see...
Why is this not in the game?
We're going to see your character's going to start leaning, depending
Oh,
on the
yeah.
ship. So right now we're flying directly upwards.
Oh, did you see that? He was leaning that way.
Andromeda to ram the ship.
Oh, there's a crush. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Boom.
Sometimes.
So this is gonna be quite fun because this is going to really. I think that they talked about it before. Like we're gonna actually be forced to seat in ships, because if we don't seat, we're going to be we're going to bounce all over the place, which eventually does make sense. So this is something that's coming in the future. But when is this coming?
For these guys, we just keep knocking them off the screen all the time.
All right, but when is this coming?
Just to wrap up, I would say this release is gonna be one big new push on the force reactions. The knockdowns, for me especially, it's a new feature that really adds.
Yes, but when?
A different dimension to the game. But this is by no means the end of it. We're gonna keep iterating on it. We're gonna keep adding more types of reactions, balance it. And,
this is so fun.
This is where a lot
By the
of
way,
play
guys,
feedback,
this is gonna
more
be
types of
the
reactions,
thumbnail for
balance
this
it.
video. Boom, like that. Hilarious. That is hilarious. I can see a lot of memes coming up in the future out of those knockdowns.
And obviously, this is where a lot of player feedback is going to be useful. Hope you guys really enjoy what we put out there. Get your feedback back to us, and trust us to keep working on it and getting it dialed in where everyone is really happy with it.
Okay, well, this is looking really exciting, and I really like those effects. When we shoot people at point blank range with shotguns, throw grenades, the missile launcher. That's going to be super awesome, especially if you are really into FPS combat. But my question is, when is this coming out? Please, Jared, tell us right now.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that gas clouds can be used to make some of the areas between points of interest more interesting themselves. That it can be just as much fun building test levels for developers as it is making game levels for players.
When is it coming?
When the captain turns on the fasten seatbelt light, you better move around the cabin at your own risk. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you next week.
That's it? So we don't know when. Okay, let's go to the roadmap then. All right, let's have a look at the roadmap and let's see if the roadmap is maybe telling us when this is coming. Of course, the roadmap, which by no means is a point of reference at some point, but let's see. So it's probably not going to be AI because maybe it could be combat improvements and polishing. I don't know. Gameplay, improved throat, no. Death animation, maybe part of it could be death animation. And that's pretty much it, right? So we don't have the cloud tech, and we don't have forced reaction. Yeah.